Greetings, everyone. I am Dimitri, and welcome to today's episode. And in our last episode, we started work on our gardens over here and got a little bit of work done. But now we'll be turning around and be dealing with this area of the town. So one thing that we need to do to expand the town is that there are these large hills in the way. So we'll be removing those in this episode. But first, what I think we'll be doing is we'll be extending this street here first and be having this area filled in and perhaps making the actual fronts of the buildings for these two buildings. Now we have our street laid in, all paved and stuff. So what I plan to have for our buildings is that this one on the right will just be a generic apartment building. You can see the back of it has some windows into the garden, so probably a bit expensive. And our next building over here will be a bit similar to the building we have over here with our cast iron little shop front there and columns going up. So we'll have another large shopping building on our major thoroughfare of the city. So now we have our buildings mostly completed, but we did arrange a specific time to be removing our hills, and that time has come while in the middle of building our building. So we will be putting the buildings on hold for a small while we remove our hills. They are mostly complete, just the windows have to be put in, pretty much, and we've gathered many shulker boxes for all the resources that we could be using, not letting it go to waste. So yeah, that is what we'll be doing right now, and we'll get back to building shortly after. And now all of our hills have been removed, leaving a nice clean blank area for us to build the rest of our city. As you can see, we've left one little bit of the hill still there to remember what used to stand here, and perhaps we can use this area to build some sort of park or garden in an open area. But back to our buildings we were building before, as you can see, we need to put in the windows and some other finishing details to these buildings to make them a bit more complete. So that is what we'll be doing right now. And here we have our two buildings with their exteriors fully completed. The building that we have here on the right is a pretty generic office or apartment building. Have this lower floor where we have our little rusticated ground layer, and up above that we have our we use bone blocks there and put some little uh, pediment on top of the windows, going up about 3 more stories and then the roof layer. This one is a bit more of an interesting one. Here we have not one, but 2 entire floors dedicated to commercial use. I think a creeper exploded in the back there. But we also have another door in here that'll probably take you up to the floors up there, where there'll probably be some office space as well. Now, what I forgot to show you was all the resources we have acquired from removing our hills. If we look at here, we have lots of leaves, lots of uh, earth, like filling in blocks, lots of stone, and even a little bit of some other stuff too. So now I don't have to go on super long dirt mining expeditions to fill all this in when we get to that area of the town. Also, in case you're wondering how to get those vertical trapdoors in Bedrock Survival Mode, I do not know if this works on Java at all, but this does work on Bedrock as of 1.21. All you have to do is activate the trapdoor and push it with a piston while it is still activated, and that should keep the trapdoor upright so you can make little white window frames. The remainder of today's episode will take place in the Nether as we head over to our industrial district so that we could do some work over there. On the other side of this portal here is where we have all our factories, such as stone, gold, tree farm, stuff like that, where we have most of our industrial things. But what I would like to do is to make this area a bit nicer, making a more organized terminal for our industrial nether portal, as this is a very important nether portal. And another thing would be to add some nether-based farms, such as basalt and piglins, because those are some blocks I would like to use in building, but do not have an easy way to be getting black stone or quartz to make diorite or other sorts of things. So what I will do is clear out a large area for us to build our farms. So I have dug out a medium-sized area for us to build our nether side of our industrial facilities. Uh, there is a problem of mob spawning here. In fact, this portal was actually lit by a ghast and not me. So I will probably have to put in some sort of design elements that make it so that ghasts can't spawn in here, but zombified piglins most of them are fine with. I've gathered some blocks to use in our area. I planned for it to be somewhat similar to what we have in the overworld side of our portal. As I was talking about, on the overworld side, we have a distinct factory high-tech style. High-tech as in the architecture style, not like a description. Well, I guess it is a description of the style, but in the Nether, I will have a area that has a similar style to what we have out here, but the blocks I've selected have been much more of a Nether themed style, using darker blocks and even some nether blocks such as like blackstone and nether bricks. And we are back with our futuristic factory side of our nether. If we look, you see I've added some fun little details such as these steel supports, and these right here we got some pipes. And on the other side of this window is going to be the basalt farm that I will build in the next episode. If we go over here, I've captured a piglin for us to use in our farm. Seem to have forgotten the ceiling. And this floor right here is going to be some sort of like grate. Maybe I'll use iron trapdoors or crimson trapdoors so you could look down into there and such. We do have a problem with mobs spawning in here. As you can see, there's a zombified piglin. They're not much of an issue, but piglins and ghasts can spawn in here, which can be a bit of a problem if they start blowing stuff up. Though most of the blocks in here, I believe, are blast resistant to ghasts. Piglins are still able to do some damage if to AFK players, and gas can also destroy this nether portal here, so hopefully I can find a way to take care of the mob problems. If I have to, I might have to put buttons all over the floor. Even though I don't think that will look as nice, it'll be better than to just randomly dying while getting some blackstone. Originally, I was going to end the episode right there, but as I was doing stuff with the nether in this area, I decided that it might be a bit useful to move our nether portal, as it is just inside of this building, not really anywhere, but like this corner just taking up space, and it doesn't really look too nice. So I decided that the one last thing I will be doing in this video is moving the nether portal into a separate building, probably right there, so that we have a nice separated area for another portal, uh, having a more organized entrance to our industrial areas. And finally, if we walk out this entrance right here, we find ourselves with this new building where if we go inside, we have steps that lead down into our portal room right here. So there is our little nether station. If we go back up and take a look, you can see it's a pretty simple design, not too complicated, but you can see that we have the windows kind of indicate like how deep it goes, that getting silly replaced by solid blocks. We have this area lit up now. As you can see, we have some sea lanterns as well as some torches dotted around, so no more creeper explosions will hopefully be happening in this area soon. Not only that, we have the entire island completely developed now. Before, it was mostly grass and sand and untouched. But now, if we take a little flying, we could see that we have finally uh, built on the entire island, covering the former wilderness with a nice concrete layer, having a huge amount of heat because there's no trees absorbing it, no plants, no life. Just 100% industrial goodness, because that is what we value here the most. Anyway, that will be the end of the episode. I thank you for watching if you have made it this far. Next episode, we'll be doing a rather large project, so be sure to stay for that. And I will see you the next one, hopefully. And farewell, my friends.